Ready Check Radio. What's up, Internet? Welcome to the Relic Grind, Ready Check Radio's Final Fantasy XIV Square Enix podcast. We're going to have a Savage check-in. We're going to get ready for the live letter not that far away. We'll talk about our final locked-in predictions for the upcoming expansion and so much more, including taking a look through Square Enix's 2021 game release calendar and giving you our takes on some of the more anticipated ones and whether we're waiting for them eagerly or whether we'll just leave it like our last segment. If you're listening on Spotify or watching on YouTube, consider coming over to ReadyCheckRadio.com, RAIDEO, radio.com, and follow us on Twitch and Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and all that fun stuff. Show your support, show your love. We appreciate it. We very much do. And tell all your friends. And hell, maybe even make it over for a live show. Relic Grind Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. And if you like World of Warcraft or anything Blizzard related, we've got Snowbound for you on Tuesdays. And Saturdays is all about all games in Gaming Gumbo. But today, it's Final Fantasy XIV Square Enix. And joining me to talk through all of it, Mr. Chris Montoya, a.k.a. Tarkoth. How are you today, sir?
Greetings, program.
You got some shit on your head, like right at the top.
I'm fabulous right now.
If you just
happy.
You can wipe it off. You got a
happy
little
to be here.
You got a little something. It's gonna be really rough for
Don't
you
be
when they
jealous.
lose, man. That's gonna be really
Don't
rough.
be jealous. No,
That's gonna be really rough.
I'm further than you were, so there we go.
Yeah, here's the difference.
But happy to be here.
Here's the difference. I was the one saying this is the weakest 11-0 I've ever seen.
Yep,
It's like
that's true.
I didn't expect them to go one and out or one and done with the Browns, but particularly with no coach that day. But hey, yeah, it happens.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up this year, so I'm happy to get into that and some Final Fantasy XIV junk.
Then we've got on the line to talk with us a fan of Mr. Tom Brady.
What?
Adam Blaine, a.k.a.
all right.
Kronos. What's up, sir?
I don't know about that.
I do like the
might have
meme that shows him in the Dos Equis most interesting man in the world pose, and it says, I don't always make the AFC championships, but when I don't, I make the NFC championships.
This is true.
I thought that was relatively good.
He's so good.
All right, so we obviously, Tarkoth going for the pack. So lock in your prediction now. Who's taking it this year?
The whole thing?
Yeah, the whole deal.
I like the Chiefs.
I do too. It's hard to bet against the Chiefs right now.
Unless Mahomes is more injured than I think.
Yeah, I also feel like though he's the type of guy that like by injured and not able to play, it means they had to remove a leg. Like
Yeah.
because he's just that type of player. So all right, and obviously Tark, you're going with the pack to take it all, right?
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, I like our chances.
The guys in green. I don't know if I like your chances. Like to be honest, solid team, no doubt, more solid than the Steelers were all year, no doubt. But you really didn't have a ton of hardcore playoff competition yet. Good teams to be sure, but nobody that I was really like, that'll be a good game. Every single one of them, I was like, yeah, it's gonna be the pack. The championship game, I think you have a little bit of a stumbling block to get through, and then if you do, and it is against the Chiefs, Jesus, I flip a coin, but I'm going to go Chiefs side, barely. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be.
I'm more confident this year than I was last year. Let's just say
Oh
that.
well, yeah, you should be. You should be. And it's weird that you say that the week or the week before the championship games. You're like, I'm a little confident. All right. Anyway, let's talk about stuff that isn't NFL and football here. So let's do our weekly Savage check-in. Kronos, has it been downed now?
Yeah,
I know. I saw on Twitter, but I needed to give you the segue.
Yeah. I'm already done with 12. Let's play. I won.
I
the
saw
first
all
couple
of your
tiers twice.
pictures. It was like, there's no reason for you to go back.
Yeah, I told my raid group I'm done. They got to find a healer. Nah, it's I won. So like we had a roll off, and I won the chess piece the first week, and then which then kind of DQs me from rolling on the pieces the next week because that's kind of how we do it to make sure everybody gets a piece. But then the globe dropped the next week,
Nice.
and then I won the mount, so I'm done. Oh, and
Yep.
the orchestrion roll, so I'm done. I'm done.
Problem is, lucky bastard.
All done.
Yeah.
Tarkoth, where are you? You'd started 12 progression. How's it going?
We're not done, but we're like this close for getting the door boss done. So I think tonight, starting 9:00 Pacific.
Oh, so you're still on door
working on
boss
the door
portion
boss.
still. Okay.
But we're at Lions, which is the last major
yeah.
mechanic, and then it's repeating stuff. So we'll get there.
So you have faith in tonight. So
I have faith.
all right. Well, even though you're not through it, you know what comes out after that. So I feel comfortable. Let's kind of put this question out here. A few weeks ago, we did our favorites in Final Fantasy XIV. We talked about raids, and to be fair, we were kind of excluding the last section of Eden there because all of us were still going through normal or savage or whatever at the time when we did that list. So let's kind of revisit just that piece for a minute. I feel like everybody's comfortable enough to include it. Give your final review now on Eden. And I'm not saying particularly to Savage or to Normal, just the last section of the Eden raid tier. Give your thumbs up, thumbs down final review now that you've had weeks of being able to mess with it, Kronos. Where does it fall for you, say, in like the top raids list if we put them by tiers?
It's up there, I think. I think 12, and I'm speaking mainly from a Savage perspective because that's kind of where my mind goes. E12S is definitely for me the best fight this expansion. Like, I think Titan's kind of close, and I like Shiva. I know a lot of that's kind of like some people do, some people don't. But the second half of 12S is just when you do the stuff right, it's like so gratifying. It's hard to like explain without like once y'all do it, you'll see like once you actually get in there and you do the mechanics properly and you see everything resolve, it's like it feels really good. Like it's probably it's like I've never seen mechanics like that in this game that feel kind of like there are some, but not to this extent. Which kind of puts it up there for me. I mean, it's still probably falls short of a few other things. Like I think Midas is kind of like perfection when it comes to Savage tiers. So I don't think it's quite up there, but I think to me it's better than anything last expansion, and I think it's the best one this expansion as far as like Savage tiers go.
So Eden's Promise takes the cake as far as Shadowbringers for you, and is maybe in like second or third-ish overall for raid tiers.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Somewhere around there.
Behind Midas and maybe arguably some other tier that you're just not thinking of off the top of your head.
I like Final Coil a lot, but if you go back and do Final Coil, I mean, there's some nostalgia there, right?
Oh, definitely.
I mean, it's a little bit outdated.
Definitely.
Creator's a very good tier, but from a difficulty scale, it's not quite there. It's pretty easy, but I think that was kind of their overcorrection from like Gordius to Midas to Creator, and they were trying to find their footing. There are individual fights in Omega that I like, but tiers kind of fall short for me.
Yeah, the tiers aren't great. I love Omega as a whole, and I know I'm in the minority in that one, and that's fine. There's a lot of I'm just a Final Fantasy fanboy, and I like the way it was done in that respect, even though I don't kind of like how it really doesn't fit into Final Fantasy XIV's universe by itself without this like bullshit explanation, which I'm okay with for nostalgic reasons and not okay with for lore reasons. But I did like a lot of those fights. I think Promise is probably second for me, but I put it behind First Binding Coil. And again, I'm not ashamed here. The nostalgia that you mentioned, Kronos, is definitely a weighting factor in this one for me. And I don't think you can really ever take that out, so I just allow it to be part of my score, right? Karazhan is still my all-time favorite World of Warcraft raid, and I'm willing to concede that 40% of that score making it my favorite is probably nostalgia more than anything. And for First Binding Coil, I'm going to do the same. Midas, yes, yeah. So, but I would put Midas third. I just really liked where Promise took some of the mechanics, where we saw some interesting takes on existing mechanics. And then, the whole floor section, I mean, that's just a wonderful mechanic that I can't wait to see how that gets warped and used in different ways going forward, too. So there's just a lot of stuff that I like there. So I'll put it second after first Binding Coil, acknowledging the nostalgia probably influencing that to a great degree. What about you, Tark?
I give it a 9 out of 10. It's definitely S rank, best of the expansion. Overall, for all of 14, I think I'm going to put it fourth. I like second Coil, Final Coil, and Midas a little bit more than this tier, but it's a truly wonderful piece of content and definitely a way to go out for a raid tier until we get Ultimate.
I gotta say, from a lore into the storyline perspective, this is probably the best. It's kind of hard to measure it, though, for me against Coils, because Coils was main storyline for all intents and purposes. So if we take that out as like a one-off, the initial raid being part of the main story sequence, right? If we take that out and just compare it, Alexander and everything else and Omega, and I think Eden and its cohesiveness, particularly Eden's Promise here in the last 4, I think it probably is number 1 for me if you look at it through that lens, the way it works well with the main story, Adam.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I said, if you discount Coil, right, which it's kind of unfair because Coil is like part of 14 lore, just a lot.
Absolutely.
And you miss a lot by not doing it.
Yep.
So if you haven't done it, you should go do it.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff about your twins and Louis Swad and others that you're just you don't know.
Yep. And but I agree. I think Omega was really all over the place, right? I mean, even if you like the fights and you like the nods.
Right, but by design, right? I mean,
right, exactly. Yeah. It was kind of hard to it would be hard to reel that in.
Yeah.
To an extent.
They wanted to do, Yoshi P and team wanted to do a fan service thing. They wanted to do a fan service thing. And how do you work all that in without saying Final Fantasy XIV connects everything, which they've stopped just shy of actually saying, by the way.
Yeah.
Just shy, multiple times. So, I don't know. Lore. It takes number 1 for me. All right. So what are we doing going forward then? Well, we have the live letter / announcement broadcast / 14-hour stream thing coming up, right? Oh, wait. No, we don't.
Yeah.
So February 5th, 6th, if you're across the date line there, we will still have the announcement presentation and followed by the live letter. However, the 14-hour stream has been postponed. There is no date right now for it. They will release it at a future date. Citing sources on the Lodestone, of course, I'm sure you could predictably guess this. It's COVID. It's COVID related. Yeah. Japan, and just like many other parts of the world, including the United States, is having resurgences and new strains and stuff like that. So normally for the 14-hour thing, there's guests in and out all day, and to keep everybody safe, they've just decided to postpone that portion. We will still have the information presentation, which I think all 3 of us are kind of estimating to be like an hour and a half-ish, maybe a little longer, depending on some of the ad-libbing Yoshi P does. Then we'll have the live letter after that. Now, so a programming note here for you viewers. That week, we're scheduled to have a show on February 4th, Thursday. That show is canceled. That show won't happen. Instead, on February 5th, in the evening here, East Coast time, we'll get together, the 3 of us, and do a special live presentation where we watch it and react in real time. So we'll get on. It starts at 8 Eastern, or it's scheduled, I should say, to start at 8 Eastern. We'll get on at about 7:30 Eastern, talk about some initial thoughts, some final maybe predictions going into it, and we'll react live with the information presentation. We will not continue into the live letter, though, because, of course, that will not have live translations. So we're not going to do, having to rely on Reddit, by the way, who are fantastic, and doing all of that stuff. So plan on us being live for, I don't know, anywhere from 2 to 3.5 hours. If we're feeling rambunctious and everybody's able to stay, maybe we'll stay for the beginning portions of the live letter where the actual announcements are, and then the rest is like teasing stuff along the way. It'll be a fun night. So no show on the 4th. We'll be doing that on the 5th. If you're following twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio like you should be, you'll get the notifications letting you know. But in light of that, I do want to ask you, gentlemen, where you think this presentation now goes. Because I feel like if they had something they wanted to show, but they were planning and revealing it in the 14-hour stream, they're trying to scramble now and find ways to put it into the presentation or to put it into the live letter, where maybe initially it was going to be a, hey, viewers, on hour 6, let's look at this, and, mini reveals of smaller expansion type items. And to be fair, this is the type of announcement sequence that is normally spread out over 3 fan fests as well.
Yep.
In America, in Europe, and in Japan here. So not only are we condensing 3 fan fests into one 14-hour stream live letter / presentation, now we've taken the 14 hours away from it too, and now it's just a live letter and a presentation. What do you think? Like, are we going to get a full-blown trailer at this point? Because we would have already had it by now, or at least the tease version of it that they usually do, or we would have been getting it shortly. Do we see a full-blown trailer for 6.0? Do we see expansion dates? They'll probably give a window at this stuff. Like, where do you think we actually start and end with this, Tark?
I think we're going to get like the full boat over the course of the whole live letter. They're just going to give it to us, and we're going to be super stoked and have weeks and weeks to talk about stuff, and it's going to be awesome. We're going to get a full trailer. We'll get our jobs. It might not all be in the reveal. They'll maybe put some of that in the live letter, but it's going to be an awesome day, and I'm super stoked to be a part of it.
Kronos, do you agree? Are we gonna get as much as Tark seems to think?
I'm just I'm gonna check my expectations a little bit. I think we're gonna get a lot. I think
Absolutely.
It's gonna be a lot, but I feel like they're not gonna give us everything we would get in like 3 FanFests. I think they're gonna draw that out a little bit. I would actually be shocked if we see both jobs, or if we don't know if there's 2, but it's just a guess, right? But I think we're only gonna see 1 job. I think like 1 job for this event. I think there's gonna be 2 overall, but I think this event doesn't show both.
Really?
I think we get that's just, I don't know. I feel like they're gonna draw that out. Maybe they tease the second one. Maybe they do both. I'm tempering my expectations. I think.
Really?
I think a trailer is almost certainly gonna happen. If it's the final trailer, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of
Probably
if I had to guess, like put money on it, I think it'll be the 45-second teaser version of the trailer. Right. And then a month down the road, we get the 6 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, full-blown 6.0 trailer. That's not to say that I would be surprised if we got the full trailer, though.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
I'd be stoked if they gave us everything all at once. Like, I would be, for the next month, I'd probably just be rewatching everything, trying to figure out everything I can.
I think we get. I think we obviously get the expansion name. I think we obviously get the release window. Obviously not an exact date. They'll do what they normally do. Spring 2020. They'll do a fall or winter 2021 is what they'll do, depending on where they're looking at putting it. I think we'll get at least the teaser trailer, if not the full-blown trailer. I'm kind of leaning towards the full-blown trailer simply because all the fan fests would have happened by now if this were a normal year. Do we get both classes? Assuming that there's 2, of course. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think we do. Again, this is information we would already have had. They would have been revealed at 2 different fan fests. They would have been revealed at one and teased for the next one, and then revealed at the next one. So I think we get 2. I feel like I fall right in between the 2 of you. Like, Tarks, you're expecting this full-blown data dump. Kronos, you're tempering expectations, hoping for a full-blown data dump, but tempering your expectations. And I'm kind of just floating in the middle.
I think that the telling key is that we had the FanFest, and they normally have those dates set. There's all right, there's going to be 3 FanFests. So we know that there's going to be 3 dumps of information. if they're going to do multiple events, I think they've already told us, hey, this is part 1 of our event, and then we're going to have another one in April.
I would agree
There's just
if I
this.
didn't think that they were as hard pressed to delay those events as they were. They waited until very, very late to cancel Europe and Japan. Like, they canceled ours almost immediately.
Yeah.
They canceled ours almost immediately. But they waited, I feel like, till the last minute they could before people would have bitched about having flights booked to cancel those. And then this cancellation of the 14-hour stream is happening 2 weeks in advance. I would agree with you, Tark, if it were normal circumstances. I think they're in a constant scramble mode of, we need to start revealing some of this stuff. When the hell do we do it? And so if I'm going to be in the middle, I might lean a little closer to your idea, Tark, because it is like, we got a shit ton of stuff and we have to start pumping it out because this is our hype train. We need to do the detail dump.
Halfway with you. Yeah, I'm halfway with you. Yeah, the logistics right now, everything's not normal. So I kind of see your point of view, but I still think give it to us. Give it to me.
All right, so here we go. Now, we did a lot of this very specifically in a previous show, so I don't want to spend a ton of time on this. But many people will have forgotten. It was one of our very first shows, too, so many people weren't even watching. By the way, ReadyCheckRadio.com. Bring your friends. Let's just recap some of our predictions here. And hell, maybe your predictions have changed since then. That's cool, too. You don't have to stick to predictions you previously made. But these are the ones you got to stick to, boys, when we're reacting to the show live. First off, is Forspoken the name of the expansion? Kronos, yes or no?
I'm going to go with no. I mean, well, Yoshi P's kind of said that, like, kind of, that it's not the name. Like, you know how he is.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's not 100% true. Who knows? But I feel like it's not. I have no idea what the name's going to be, but I'm going to go with no.
Tarkoth, do you agree?
Usually, if we're going to have, we'll hear about trademarks that come down. We haven't heard anything else except for Forspoken. So I'm leaning towards yes.
Well, and all the other trademark stuff we have heard about is clearly Final Fantasy VII related. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm going to go with yes, too. I think Forspoken is it. I lock it in. I think that's the name. The main story heading, are we going to another star? Is the Garlean Empire going to be the de facto main part of the story? Whether we actually go to the Garlean Empire itself, I don't know. That's where we're going to make our predictions. Key story area. Where in Eorzea or where in another universe or star or source are we going to?
I would love to go to the moon, but I think we're finally going to the Garlean Empire. It's going to be the pinnacle of what we've been fighting for since 1.0 is our fight with the Garleans. And my prediction that this is the end of the story. It's even kind of been hinted at already.
You're nuts.
Yeah.
You're still nuts on that
yeah,
one.
I think we go to Ishgard. Xenos is our main antagonist again, but Xenos / Zodiark, that whole deal. So, yeah. It's gonna be great.
But you can't say Xenos / Zodiark. That's like
No.
I think the
Zodiark and Xenos together.
BFFs. I agree with you. We're going to Garlemald, I think. Xenos, if we're gonna add in the main who we think the main antagonist here is gonna be, I think that one's pretty apparent. Although I could see Yoshi P pulling a bait and switch, building Xenos up here, and then having Xenos killed in an early trial fight, and then moving forward with the Fandaniel, Asian Zodiark stuff going as the main antagonists instead. So I'm going to go with Garlemald. And main antagonist, I really want it to be Xenos, though. I'm going to go with Xenos because I think there's a possession and stuff that they're probably going to play with on that front. So I'm going to agree, Tarkoth, 100% with you on that one. 100%.
Welcome to the dark side.
I know. Are we nuts, Kronos?
No, I agree. Unless he's pulling a crazy bait and switch and it's not Garlemald. I feel like this time it has to be Garlemald.
Because remember the last time we saw Xenos, by the way, he was built up as the big bad guy, and he was out by point 1.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think it's gonna be him too. Although I could see like the bait and switch with Fandaniel a little bit, where like maybe we think Fandaniel, like maybe they're trying to play him off like he's weaker than we think he is. And then that ends up being kind of like Final Fantasy VI, right?
Yeah.
Where you have like this Emperor who you think is strong, and you have a Jester, and then flips the script.
Yeah, the only
I
thing that I think
happening.
is stopping them from doing that is that they haven't really built up Xenos as being big and strong.
Right.
They have just built him as singular in focus and
Right.
not
And
caring about anything else. So
yeah, and he's willing to get a new weapon and everything.
Yeah.
Like they're playing a lot of things up.
Yep.
So I agree with you guys. I think although I do think the moon's gonna make an appearance finally. I really do. I don't know if it's gonna be an area. Maybe it's where a fight takes place.
Or we could
like-
get a whale airship and fly to it.
Please no.
Yep.
Please
With
no.
6.4 and 6.5, we go to the moon, and then everything goes to hell. And hey, here's a new game.
Here's a tough one. Not that those weren't tough, but I think you could make a fairly decent guess at things in whether Forspoken was the title, where we're going, who the baddie will be, and all that stuff. Here's a tougher one, I think. Where's the first raid tier, Kronos?
Where?
Or like what type of is it going to be like another Eden? Here comes a starship that we just find. Is it a visitor from another thing like Omega? Is it the Garlean Empire, buildings themselves, a series of castrums, or the super castrum? What are we doing?
It's gonna be hard. It's really hard to speculate on the raid.
I know, right?
That's why we're here.
I want to hope for like, I don't know. Maybe like some Final Fantasy IX inspired stuff is kind of what I'm thinking, but that doesn't really say anything about like where it takes place.
Yeah,
They're usually pretty like adjacent to the main story, so I don't know if it's gonna be like straight Garlean related, but maybe they just commit back to that and
do a binding coil effect where the raid is the main story, and I think they can get away with that now that they've done some years of development and really just catered normal to being able to be accessible by almost everybody, and then preserving that hardcore stuff for Savage. Now that cycle is kind of locked in, they've got it tuned, they know how to do that, I think it is safe to put story content back into the 8-person raid. The 24-person raid, I can still see why they leave as a sideline story. 24 people is just hard in general. For unless you're just randomly pugging, and then you're at the mercy of skill levels, where I don't think it's all that unreasonable anymore in Final Fantasy to expect 8 people to be able to get together and take out a normal after a day of progression if they needed it. So I think it's safe to put regular story content in there. I don't know if they will, but I think it's safe. Ultimisia, that's my prediction. No. We got robbed, gentlemen.
She's kind of there. You do the fight.
You got the music.
I mean, it's her theme. Like, I mean,
I think
she uses skills.
I think it's heavily Garlean Empire, like big castrums, big castles, and high tech stuff. I think this very much, I know you alluded to it jokingly, Kronos, Final Fantasy VI, but I think it is setting up for that big magic versus technology setting. We're already seeing it with the weapon fights and things in the latest patches here. So I could see the expansion continuing along that storyline. I'll go with the first raid being something high-tech Garlean Empire type stuff. Tarkoth, are you in the same boat, or are we going to the moon for this too?
If the main story revolves around the Garlean Empire, I think the raid is either the moon or dealing with the individual towers that are what I'm suspecting is funneling energy to the moon and to Zodiac. So that is my prediction for that. And then 24-man raid, we're going to have a Harry Potter crossover, and it's going to be amazing. They're going to fit that into the story of 14 just perfectly. It's going to be great.
We'll have a new host next week for you.
Joke.
Final predictions on new class or classes. Now, we all believe that there'll probably be 2. So let's just keep our predictions at that. And while you're giving the two, then I guess say if they decided to only do one, which of those two would be the one? Let's keep it that way. And then I'm going to throw some stuff at you from Reddit, posted by Gorkraven, about 6.0 job speculation that I think has a few oddball, like fringe possibility ones out there, but they're not entirely fringe possibilities. So I'm going to stick with Geomancer Chemist as much as I want Necromancer. As much as I want a Necromancer, as much as a Necromancer has been teased, we saw one as a boss in Heroes. I would love a Necromancer. It would have to be the range DPS caster, I think, unless they really wanted to get crazy with it. I'm fine with it being a healer. I play one of those in Elder Scrolls Online. I'd love to play that in Final Fantasy XIV. But I think it would just be probably, they'd play it safe and make it a ranged DPS class. So, but I'm going to lock in the same prediction I had then, Chemist and Geomancer. So, Tark, we'll go to you next.
I'm going to keep with my predictions. That's Geomancer Time Mage.
Yep.
I think we need another caster. But one of my viewers brought up the point, what if they make Time Mage the healer? They've set up with our raids a lot of snapshot and then release kind of mechanics. And that could play very well into a gameplay for Time Mage where maybe you snapshot, your health and it's like a 3-minute cooldown and you release that and you're back to full health. You can also do that with buffs, snapshot shields and DPS buffs to increase your RDPS. So I thought that was an interesting take. I wouldn't be against it, but Geomancer Time Mage is where I'm falling.
Baron in chat says, fingers crossed, Puppet Master, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
If you get Pup, it'll be a limited class, I think.
Yeah.
Pup was so much fun in Final Fantasy XI, though. Go ahead, Kronos.
Yeah, so with the Time Mage thing, I kind of agree there, especially since they took the skills away from Astro. Although,
Yeah.
I mean, that's not going to be my prediction, but I think it's like a solid prediction to have. I think Time Mage as a healer would make way more sense to me than a DPS. My issue with Time Mage as a class is they've already kind of explained like they don't want haste in the game, and I feel like if you have a Time Mage without the skill haste, it's kind of like I don't know. They'd have to really be careful how they do that. I'm agreeing with Mike. I think this is my original prediction too.
Yeah.
Where I think Geomancer is the magical DPS, and I think
so all three of us stuck with our original picks, with my caveat of Heart Necromancer.
Yeah.
Heart Necromancer.
Heart.
Let me throw this at you. This is from Reddit. Again, post credit goes to Gorkraven. A few oddball. I mean, they've got Geomancer and Chemist in here, so we'll skip those. But they've got the possibility of a hammer user, maybe saying judge. I know we discussed that before and probably attributed it more to not a judge character, but a berserker when we were talking about it. I still think that's possible. I think, though, that the big, like, this is why it probably isn't that, is it's yet another melee DPS. I think that is probably why we don't see it yet. But I do think that's a very likely candidate in the future. A berserker, a big hammer, a big mace-wielding melee character at some point. You gentlemen on par with the rationale there?
Yeah, I think, and they bring up points about like Gaia and stuff, and I think that's all valid. I think eventually we probably will see one.
Yeah.
I don't know what class it's going to be. I just don't think it's going to be this expansion.
Yeah, that's my whole thing. I'm like, absolutely. I mean, this totally fits. It would totally fit right now. There's nothing. The only thing is I don't think they want to put another melee DPS in. I think they absolutely need a healer, and they really, really want a ranged DPS to balance everything out at 4-4-4-4. I think that's what they want to do, and then go from there. But possibility number two, some type of dual wielding, Rune Fencer, Spellblade. Kind of think of this as the reverse of a red mage, Tark. Heavy melee with a little bit of ranged rather than a little bit of melee with a lot of ranged. If we went that route, I think, again, it still suffers from the same thing we were just talking about, though.
Yeah. Because I thought we were going to get a melee last expansion, even though we had just had Samurai. I don't know where they're gonna go with melee. It's definitely not gonna be this expansion. Uh, oh man, it's tough. Back to the hammers though. If I would like to see that as a melee DPS, but like dual wield hammers, that would be cool.
Dual wield, big ass hammer. So
Yeah.
you need a double berserker. That's what you need. You need a double berserker. How about gun and sword user? Kind of like a Corsair if you played Final Fantasy XI, or a gunner.
Okay.
I could see that. Now, that is probably the one of the oddball fringe ones that I, ironically, although the author doesn't think it's the most likely out of them, I think it is the most if I got to pick from this fringe list, I think that would probably be it. But again, the sword with a little, I think you could get away with a little bit of melee, a little bit of close range stuff, but I think it would have to cater more towards the gun side of things, in which case we already have machinists. So
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
that's where it kind of breaks down for me.
This is what Merlwyb is in the game. We just don't have a class, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
pirate
that's what she
basically.
is.
She's a Corsair. Corsair.
Yeah, I agree though. I don't know how, like, they make the point too. Like, from a design perspective, like, is it really gonna be fun enough and different enough for a machinist to really? I don't know. And then I don't think they're gonna add, because this would, I mean, I guess it would be like kind of a hybrid melee, like physical ranged, but I don't know if they're gonna add anything like that. Again, not this expansion. It's definitely a class they could add.
Yeah,
I can see it. I just don't think it's this expansion.
Yeah, none of those seem impossible to me. They just don't seem possible right now. I just think there's an overwhelming desire to balance the queue, the queue.
Yep.
They're very predictable.
Yeah.
If anything, 14 is pretty predictable in how they release stuff and what they put in the game. So I'd be shocked if it's not a caster and a healer.
Great post on Reddit, by the way. There's all kinds of reasons for and against from the author there. So I'm going to link it in chat for you. Go ahead and take a look at that. Huge kudos to Gorkraven, just having some cool conversation, and glad we could bring it to the show. Also, are we going to get a Final Fantasy XIV Xbox announcement in our stream next week? This has been teased for a while now. And Yoshi P has been public about conversations that he has had with Phil Spencer about and Phil Spencer has been public about conversations about bringing it. Everybody wants to. They're all saying it publicly. They have said it publicly. They even hinted at an announcement at one point, but then delayed the fan fests. So do we get an Xbox Final Fantasy XIV announcement in the showcase or in the live letter? Tarkoth, you go first.
I want to say yes. My gut, like 60% yes. They're gonna bring Xbox into the fold. It's gonna be with this expansion, because you don't want to do it in the middle of the expansion. That's just rude. So with the expansion, I almost kind of want to think maybe they want to make it like their own announcement. Like do the expansion and then Xbox can then have their own event and say, "Hey, 14's coming. Join us over here." So I'm at 60-40 that it's part of the 14 announcement date. So
what about you, Kronos?
I'm just gonna go no. I haven't like heard too much about it. I mean, I've heard the things that y'all have heard, but I don't know. I feel like we would know more if that would be like a big deal. I think I'm kind of worried that if they do it, it's gonna just cause more issues. But I mean, maybe I'm wrong. They probably know what they're doing anyways. As far as
I mean, we still don't technically have official announcements on PS5 version yet, right? You know, that's still that's still coming.
I think we're more likely to get that as
an
expansion announcement than Xbox. I think
I
Microsoft wants to release that.
I think that's a guarantee at the showcase that the PS5 version of the game gets a date at some point, or at least a release window, if not an exact date at some point, you know, by the end of winter 2021 type deal. But I'm going to go the other way. I think we get the Xbox reveal at the showcase or the live letter. I think it's too good an opportunity. Every Final Fantasy fan that wants to know about the expansion, knows when this thing is going to be watching it, is going to have their eyes on it, is going to be telling their friends, dude, that is your audience. Yeah, you want to advertise to the people that don't play Final Fantasy XIV as well and fold them in because they don't have a computer or they don't play on PC and they don't have a PlayStation 5. They're an Xbox baby. That's fine. You want to fold them in. But those people are hard to reach without just putting something on the Xbox store. That's the best place you can advertise to an Xbox player that doesn't know about or play Final Fantasy XIV. That's all well and good. What you want to do, in my mind, being from PR and marketing, if it were me, where is the single biggest audience of Final Fantasy XIV players going to see something? Because they'll spread the word for me. And then I could put up commercials and side banners and stuff like that. I think it's too big an opportunity. If they don't do it, I think we're a little further away from it than they've kind of teased and led us to believe. Because I agree with you, Tark. You don't drop it in the middle of an X-Pack. You don't drop it in the 0.2 or anything like that. I just think it's too good an opportunity. Hey, by the way, when this expansion launches, we're going to have a sweet-ass $70 package for all of you Xbox players that gives you all the expansions. Here you go, baby. I think it's too good an opportunity. And because it's cross-platform, all your Final Fantasy friends, the reason they didn't play with you was because it's Xbox. They don't have that reason anymore. You saw it on the live show. Take it to... I'm going to go with yes on that one. I'll probably be wrong, and I accept that. Just a few items for all of you before we head over to other Square Enix news. Duty Commenced will air tomorrow. That is the Final Fantasy community show. If you've never watched that before, there's always kind of interesting stuff in there. And they'll be giving away Pusheen stuff to go along with the sticker collaboration. So make sure you check it out. You can find information about that on the Lodestone. And there's really just a few hours left now for the Ishgardian restoration. I think we're down to 2 hours or 4 hours, something like that.
It's real close. Yeah,
we're almost done. But, gentlemen, I introduce to you the frying pan.
Victory!
The frying pan. The first frying pans have arrived on Japanese servers because those ended yesterday. Time zone changes. What you're seeing is Tonberry server. Congratulations to Tonberry server and particularly culinarians on the Tonberry server for their frying pan statue. If you're running around, by the way, in the next 24 hours or so, and you want to see what your server did, you want to head to the Firmament, and this is actually right outside Hoarfrost Hall in the Firmament. So that's where you'll be able to see the statue when it's up on your server. But multiple servers, Culinarian was Ultima. Tonberry was Frying Pan. So credit to Tonberry and the Culinarians in particular on Tonberry. Other servers do have the Frying Pans as well, so... But I couldn't not show.
I wonder how many non-frying pans are going to be.
Right.
I think it would be like 70% frying pans.
Right.
It's going to be awesome.
Tonberry, for those of you that don't know, very popular, mainly English-speaking server in the Japanese data centers. That's why we're showing Tonberry off the top here. So, yeah, Australia in particular. Absolutely, chat. Absolutely send. Thank you. All right, let's slide over to other Square Enix news. I know you gentlemen aren't really all that keen on this one, but Balan Wonderworld is getting a free demo next week. So Outriders with its demo next month. We'll be doing a show and then a 3-man stream. Thank you to Faye for switching the schedule on February 25th. Faye will stream on Friday the 26th in my slot. So look for that at the end of February. But if you're looking for something 4 days from now, Balan's Wonderworld is giving a free demo. You guys still aren't even remotely interested in this one?
I will try the demo. I'll try the demo.
Like if you like Sonic and Nights into Dreams, and I mean this is very much in that vein. We're getting like 6 different worlds, but not every act in every world, not every boss fight in every world. There's a list on the site of... This is, I think, Act 6 is what I'm showing here. Or Act 4, I don't remember which off the top of my head. Apologies. I don't know. I love this art style. I think it's very clever. I think it's being very tongue-in-cheek with some of its humor. I'm all for it. Is it going to be something I'm going to play for hundreds and hundreds of hours? Probably not. But I'm definitely going to play it. I'm definitely going to play it. It's too cool not to. And a free demo. Check it out.
Free demo. I'll give it a try. Show my son it, see if he likes it.
Oh, speaking of demos, I know we'll talk more about this on Gaming Gumbo, but the Resident Evil showcase was tonight. And we're going to talk about Resident Evil Village and all that stuff on Gaming Gumbo Saturday at 7 p.m. right here on ReadyCheckRadio.com. But if you're on PS5 right now, there is like a mini preview thing with the Maiden, one of the characters that's in the game. There's no combat; it's just more exploratory. But if you're curious about Resident Evil 8 Village, you can check that out. It's only on PS5 though, only on PS5. There will be another demo released later, a different demo for other consoles. This one is a PS5 exclusive, and that's available right now. Other releases coming out from Square Enix, gentlemen, and I kind of want to get a take from all of us on, are you excited by these or not? Now, this is not by any stretch. Tark has just left. He just left. He just split. This is not by any stretch of the imagination Square Enix's entire slate for 2021. We could receive word on a number of things at any day, but these are ones that we do know for sure coming out in 2021. And so I think let's just give like a 1 through 10 hype meter. Are you really like this is a definite buy, definite hype, 10 out of 10, or is this just like you couldn't care less, a Balan Wonder World 1 out of 10 if you're Kronos? Hype level for these. We'll do these kind of rapid fire here. Bravely Default 2. That comes out next month, February 26th. 1 to 10, Kronos.
9.
Tark?
9.
I got to go with a 9 or a 10 too. Yeah, I'm pretty hyped about this one. I love the Bravely Default series. I love it.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. It's hard not to be. Balan Wonderworld. Like I've spoken highly of it and I'm going to try it. Honestly, though, it's probably like a 6.5 for me. It's probably, if I'm being legitimately just downright, if I forgot that it came out today, I would be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go get that. It's not one that off the top of my head, had I not seen the trailer just now, I don't think I could have told you the release date besides it's soon. So I'm going to go 6.5. Tark?
4.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
It's just not your type of game? You're not into like platformers and stuff?
I am. I'm playing Sackboy right now with my boy. And this is something I'll get the demo on, and maybe that demo does its job and gets my hype level up a little bit more for the full release. But right now it's just sitting at a 4. It's okay.
Sendarl gives a 10 for Bravely Default 2. Prism, you're giving an 8. Was that for Bravely Default? You were just replying late, or was that for Balan Wonderworld? Kronos, go ahead and Balan Wonderworld us.
It's a 1.
It's really legitimately a 1. It's just not your type of game.
I like platformers too, but I don't play them as much as I used to. And like when you say like Sonic and Mario, like that has nostalgia for me. And like, it's the new IP, and I wish it the best. And I'm glad people are excited for it. I'm not gonna play it.
Send is saying, should clarify about Bravely Default 2 and the whole 10 thing. I'm a fangirl, so my opinion's heavily biased. We're fanboys. Our opinions are heavily biased. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Prism, that 8 out of 10 is for Bravely. Okay, cool. Chat getting in on the action. Next up, Outriders. I'm going to go to Kronos first because I remember when we first started talking about this, Kronos was like, meh, whatever. And then we were like, no, seriously, go look at some stuff. I looked some stuff. Looks interesting. Oh, it's cross-platform. Oh, it's all contained. It's not a live service. Oh. So where are you at now, Kronos?
Yeah, I'm somewhere between a 7 and an 8 now. It was a game that if I had not for the show, it wouldn't have really been on my radar. I would have seen trailers for it and probably just brushed it off. But now that I have like people to play with and it like looks interesting, I'm actually excited to play it. So I'm gonna go 7.5.
Nice. Tark?
8.5. Want to see how the gunplay is, but it looks awesome, and I'm hyped to do it with you boys.
That's a sentence I'll thank you never to say again. Mystic says 10 for Balan, 6.9 for Bravely. Wow. Okay. Sucker for cute platformers, but apparently not for turn-based RPGs. That's there. Sendarl giving 7 for Outriders. I'm going to give Outriders a 10 as far as my most hype list. I think it beats out Bravely Default for me, which I would put at a high 9, but I'm very hyped for Outriders. And watch, I'll be incredibly disappointed, but I like looter shooters in general. I particularly like looter shooters that are in the box. I don't mind live services. I'm okay with them, but I really like when they're not. I think the decision to delay the game an extra month was a fantastic decision. I think the decision to say, look, you don't even need a pre-order. Here's a demo. You're going to get to do co-op. You're going to get to do single player. You're going to get to do all this different. You'll get to mess with all 4 classes. Then you decide whether you want to pre-order this game or buy this game. I think that says a lot to me as far as their confidence in the product. And that, yeah, I'm going to put it at a 10. Zendare says bump it up to a 9 if Outriders has good gunplay like Destiny 2. Prism giving Outriders the 8. So yeah, that seems to be up there. Near Replicant version 1. I'm gonna go to you first, Kronos.
Oh, that's a 10 for me.
I knew it.
Yeah, I'm really excited to play this. Everything I've seen makes me happy to like. I just can't wait till April to play it. So
Sendarl doing the fangirl 10 out of 10 for Nier. Just fangirling the shit out of chat. It's all right. You're absolutely welcome to. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go before you do, Tark, because I think I know where yours is gonna go. So we'll start on a high, and then we'll Chronos says 10. I'm gonna go with an 8. I'm not as geared for it because I'm familiar with it. Not that I've played through the entire thing, but this is just a remake, remaster, update, Western release. This isn't a totally new Nier game. If it was a new Nier game, I'm with you, Kronos, 10 out of 10. Because I know things about this game, I'm going to take a little bit off the hype meter. I'm going to put it with about an 8. What about you, Tark?
Did this come out in the West?
No, it did not come out in the West.
So technically, this is new to us.
Well, that's what I just said. That this is
Yeah,
technically a remake, a remaster, new release in the West. But I'm familiar with story and content that takes place in here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Now
that's why I said not that I have played through the entire thing, but I already know arguably some things that are spoilers about the story. So
I'm giving it a 9. Nier Automata is actually going to be my next game I do in Ready Check Radio after Dragon Quest XI is done.
Have you beaten that?
Dragon Quest?
No, Nier.
No, Nier. No, I have not.
Awesome.
Not even the first playthrough. So
cool.
It's going to be
very cool.
Good stuff. Yeah, I'm giving this a 9. I love Dragon Guard. I love Nier. It's good shit.
Do you know anything about like Automata story and stuff?
Very little.
Oh, okay. That should be a good stream.
Yeah, it's absolutely going to be a great stream. His Dragon Quest stream is great, Chad. If you're not here on Sunday nights or Saturday nights, midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific on Friday night, I guess technically. Yeah.
The only thing I'll say, make sure you get the 5 endings. Make sure you get 5 endings. That's the only thing I'm going to tell you.
Well,
that's the plan.
Don't worry about it. You can't screw that up. There's like 28. I mean, I know what you're talking about, Kronos, but yeah, anyway, I don't want to spoil any of that for you. Never mind. I'm not going to talk.
I know there's multiple endings.
There's literally one for every letter of the alphabet.
Awesome.
And I think there's actually a couple over that too, but there is definitely at least one for each letter. Neo, The World Ends With You. I think you guys are going to be higher on this one. I'm going to say like a 3. As much as I am a fan of The World Ends With You, it's too little too late for me. There's too many other things. This really doesn't do it for me. I'm going to say like a 3 to a 3.5. Tarkov?
1.
Oh, wow. I thought you'd be higher than this one on this one. I didn't think like you were going to be super hyped, but I thought you'd be higher.
Right now, maybe because I just never played the original. I own it, but I've never even plugged it in. Just, okay, it's here. it could have came and gone and never been existed, and I wouldn't have really cared.
Sticks in chat giving it a 10. 10.
Cool.
Kronos, I know you were interested in this one and you were happy that when we made the prediction it was going to be for Switch, you were happy that it was. Where's the hype?
I'm at a 9.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm definitely buying this for sure.
Damn.
I love the first game. I was more like I didn't think they were ever gonna make a sequel, so I'm glad they're finally doing it, and I hope it's really good. But yeah, it's a day one buy for me easily.
This summer, Switch and PS4. Here you go. Dragon Quest Tact, something we've talked about on the show before. This one's going to be free to play, mobile, and will be out this year. It's a little strategy, RPG-ish, but more strategy game. Tarkoth, you go first.
I'm going to give it a 5. And it's not because of Dragon Quest. I love Dragon Quest. I'm playing it now. My temperance is because Square's track record on free-to-play mobiles is not the best. So I'm going to give it a try, but I also kind of expect there to be some monetary issues that I'm just not appreciative. So we'll see.
I'm going to go 0. I love Dragon Quest. I absolutely love and adore Dragon Quest. I'm the one that kept telling Tark, you have to play 11. You own it. Fucking play it. Fucking... I can't. It's a mobile game. I don't do mobile games. I think I have 2 on my phone. None of them are Final Fantasy, Opera Omnia, or War, or any of those. Certainly not All the Bravest. That's definitely I can't do it. As much as I like Dragon Quest, I don't care. I don't care. Bring Dragon Quest X, the MMO West, and you got my money. This one, you don't got my money. Kronos?
Yeah, I'm with you guys for the most part. I'm like a 3. I love tactical RPGs. I really do. I usually play pretty much all of them. I'm not a big fan of mobile as a platform. And I also I'm not the hugest Dragon Quest fan, as we've talked about in previous episodes. I might try it for a day, but I can't see myself playing it much longer after that.
I feel bad. I should give it a 1 because it is Dragon Quest. I'll give it a 1, not a 0, because
this has got to be huge in Japan, though.
Oh,
right?
it absolutely will be.
Dragon
Oh my
Quest,
god, yeah,
they're all about mobile.
yeah. I don't make so much money.
And like even the mobile games they have, they're I'd say they're successful.
Oh, they do just fine. But Tark's right. Depending on which game you're talking about, there are some questionable monetary decisions made in them. All the Bravest being the most grievous of them.
Oh god, horrible.
Prism says 9 for The World Ends and a 1 for DQ Tact. Sendarl says 4. Next up is Just Cause Mobile, and because I gave Tact a 1 simply for being Dragon Quest, that means this one gets a 0 because I could not care less about the Just Cause series. I just don't care. And now it's mobile. I really, really don't care. This one gets my 0. Dragon Quest Tact can have my 1. What about you, Kronos?
Yeah, I went through all these. If I gave my score, wrote them down. This was a 0. Like as soon as I saw what it was, 0. I didn't even need to read anymore. Yeah.
Tark?
I've never played any of the Just Causes. The fact that it's a mobile game, yeah, just big fat goose egg. 0, 0, 0s all across the board for all of us. Just no.
All right, so here's where it gets a little complex then. Next up, Nier Reincarnation. We've all just expressed our fanboy and some in chat doing their fangirl fanboy stuff for the Nier series. How about a Nier mobile game that we really don't know a lot about yet, and we don't know how it's going to cross over or tie into Nier Replicant or Nier Automata? We don't know. Kronos?
Yeah, I'm at a 2, and that's purely because of the name. I do not really like the mobile as a platform. I just don't. It's hard. I don't know. It's something about they're just hard for me to get into and play for hours. And yeah, so only because it's Nier, I give it a 2.
Tarkov?
So is this going to be a free to play? Do we know anything about what?
Who cares? It's a mobile Nier. Like what they're going to charge you? We know very little about this one yet.
I mean, if it's one that they're going to put a price tag on, like $15, $20, okay, I'm a little bit more excited because it's all in the box. But if it's a free to play, I might be at like a 2.
I'm gonna be
So it
at a
depends on-
2, and I'll wait for you to buy it and let me know how it is.
Okay.
We'll do that. We'll let Tark.
If it's free to play, I might not even get it.
Yeah.
So
The
we'll see.
only thing I'm with you, both of you gentlemen, it has the near name, so I'll kind of peek at it, but it also is mobile, so if I forget about it, I'm not going to feel all that heartbroken. Last one, Saga Frontier. And we're going to show a little bit of a trailer from that. Now, obviously, this came out, 20 years ago or whatever. But there's going to be a full remaster, new content, all kinds of... There's even a new protagonist that you can play as in it as well. So, either of you play this back in your PS1 days?
Yeah, I played it before.
What'd you think?
I played it.
I'm not the biggest fan. It's okay. Like it's not bad. But like as far as like my PS1 RPGs, it's like pinnacle for me, and it's
Yeah.
like not even like really up there, but it's not a bad game, And there's a lot of people that really do like it a lot.
I like it, but I was frustrated with finding the whole abilities and mixing and matching, and it's definitely not held up the test of time. It's cool that's getting a remaster. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna play it. I'll give it a 7.
10. Give it to me. A remaster of any of my RPGs in my PS1 collection, so I don't have to pull those discs off the shelf. Some of them are worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars now. Let me keep them there, and a remaster with new thing. 10. Granted, this isn't one of Square's finest RPGs, and it certainly isn't on the PS1, and it certainly isn't one of their finest across their entire experience. But it's one that I like enough that this saves me from pulling the disc off the shelf. I like new content. I like it looking good. Obviously, I'm not expecting it to be a mover and shaker in the industry. It is a day one purchase for me. Absolutely.
Word.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. 2 more things just want to bring your attention to, and we'll call it a day. Move over to the Love It or Leave It segment and wrap up here. Gentlemen, just so you know, we haven't heard squat out of Marvel's Avengers for like ever now. Ever.
Yeah.
Like Kate Bishop was supposed to be October, didn't come out till the beginning of December. Hawkeye was supposed to be December. We have no idea when he's coming out. We have no idea when Spider-Man is being added in for PlayStation users. We've got data mine stuff that points to like She-Hulk and other people. Oh, Chrono Trigger remaster. Yes, please. I'm amazed that one hasn't happened first, by the way. Like, how did Saga Frontier jump the line in front of Chrono Trigger? That's amazing. As far as remasters go. I guess because they released it on Steam, so they're trying to suck those sales up first.
Yeah, it's been available on other.
Yeah.
Like it came out. They re-released it on DS too, like a while back.
Anyway, it's been weeks. Like if you go to the Marvel Avengers website, the most recent news posts are their weekly roundtables, which give no more information than like priority mission changes and stuff like that. Like it is not. I'm not hearing anything. Anything.
A lot of crickets.
I mean, that can't be good. Like, when are we getting anything? If you are a fan of this game, we can't talk about this and not do this, right? Hold on.
Oh, Steam charts, yeah.
Steam charts. Oh my God, 378 playing an hour ago. 520 is the 24-hour peak. Yeah, that's not good for your online all the time multiplayer live service game.
Non-crossplay.
Yeah, non-crossplay game. Yeah, that's right. Here's the thing too. There's speculation. Again, this one's just rumor, by the way, just like the She-Hulk stuff and all. This is just rumor, and I don't know if you guys heard this, and if you did or didn't, let me know what you think. So Kronos, we'll go to you first. There is rumor that this may be the marquee title in the free PSN February games. Now, that's just a rumor right now. That is not confirmed. We don't know February's free games, but they do always put usually one bigger-ish title, even if it's a little older, But you get like, here's Resident Evil, whatever. And then one kind of smaller title or indie title or whatever they're experimenting with this month. February, there are rumors that the bigger title will be Marvel's Avengers. This game came out in September, folks.
Yeah.
That means 5 months go by before it becomes a free title. 1, do you think it'll happen, Kronos? And 2, what does that ultimately say?
I think that might be good for the game, honestly, like to get people to play it. Because I mean, if it's free, you'll get a lot of word of mouth where you're just like, hey, go download it, try it. It's free, you might like it, kind of thing. I mean, free is probably still too expensive for me to play the game. But I think it'll get some more eyes on it, which is a good thing. So I actually think if it is true, I like the move. Because I think like, people that own PS5s and PS4s will probably just grab it while it's free and you'll see a spike in play, which then could help you sell your further DLC if that's the road you're trying to go down, which I mean, they've already promised
That's
several,
my thing,
right?
though. Like, if this happens, that means it's going to happen in 2 weeks. Because it normally, the changeover is like whatever, February 5th, February 6th. It's always like 5 or 6 days into the month for the PSN free game changers.
First Wednesday after Tuesday kind of deal.
Yeah. So if that's the plan, then we need to hear something, because I don't think you can do that without having some type of announcement to also go with it on, hey, and Hawkeye's coming on March 1st. Some type of, hey, here, get it free for a month, catch up, Hawkeye's coming, then we got this and we got this and we got this. Some type of buzz to capitalize on what you're talking about, Kronos. The people that are like, hey, I've heard a lot of bad shit about that. I really like Avengers, but I'm going to hold off for now. Oh, shit, it's free. All right, cool. I'll pick it up. But I think that, Tark, that also has to come with an idea of something coming sometime soon, right?
Yeah, if this is true, PSN has been notorious about not leaking or trying not to leak what the titles are for PS Plus until the week before. I don't know why that is, especially when you have a big title like this. You'd like to have some sort of build up, some sort of push to, hey, come get this, come try this out. But they're notorious about not letting people know what is coming on Plus until the week before.
Yes, it's so you'll buy it the day before Plus goes free.
So, but if this comes out with Plus, there's got to be some sort of big announcement that's coming with this, because you don't just put it on Plus and then do nothing with it. There's got to be, you got to build on it for some reason. If they put it on Plus as well, I think it shows that they're really desperate. I mean, they're looking for anybody to come play this game at this point. So I think they're there.
I think they need to be there.
Yeah. if they're not at that desperation, they should be looking at those numbers and be like, hey, and they need to get crossplay going. Why is it not there? So bad.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, it's not even like they're losing all that much at this point. Like, you can buy the game for, if you shop around, gang, you can find this somewhere in your region for $15 to $30 max. So it's not even like they've already cashed the launch in as a launch. So they're not worried about recouping box costs at this point. They're worried about retaining player base and selling the DLC. A little FYI for all of you viewers, the Final Fantasy VII trademarks that we reviewed on last week's show, those are rolling out in more areas, including Canada. So look for more news on them sometime soon. Shinra Power Company logo and all kinds of other fun trademarks. They're rolling out in other regions, so there's no doubt about them being a valid, legit thing. It's no longer a data mine or anything like that. Square Enix is snapping up the trademarks in all the regions. So get ready. I think we're going to have some Final Fantasy VII news later this year. All you get from that is that Shinra's buying Canada. That is exactly what I said, Jason. And on that note, let's slide over and do Love It or Leave It. This is the segment of the show where I give the hosts an item. It could be anything, as long as it is Square Enix related. It could be a particular game. It could be a feature in a game. It could be a press release. It could be a financial decision. Literally anything under the sun that has to do with Square Enix. And all three of us will tell you whether we love it or leave it. And we encourage you to do the same in the comments below on YouTube or in the comments below on ReadyCheckRadio.com. Love it means you want more of it. Leave it. Yep, just throw it away. Today's topic, gentlemen, starting with you, Kronos, is jumping puzzles, specifically in Final Fantasy XIV. I say that because there are some games that do jumping puzzles better than 14 and some that do it worse, so I didn't want to put it just out there as jumping puzzles. We're going to be specific to Final Fantasy XIV and jumping puzzles. Love them or leave them?
Yeah, I'm going to go with leave it. The 14's not really built to be a platformer. I really don't get any like fun out of trying to jump up the top of the castle in Kugane. I mean, people like it a lot, which is good. I mean, and it probably doesn't take much effort to put it in the game, but for me personally, yeah, you're not really going to catch me doing those things, to be honest. And I do a lot of stuff in the game, and that's really not one of the things I really care about.
Tarkoth?
So I get where Cronus is saying that it's not built to be a platformer, but I'm gonna go with love it. Leap of faith. If I'm in there, I will absolutely do it. Kugani Tower was challenging. I didn't actually get it done myself. I got too frustrated and someone pulled me up. But I got all the sightseeing log to get that minion. I love it in this game. I just wish it was more platform friendly.
I'm going to go with love it. I love jump puzzles in MMOs to begin with. We got Dave in chat saying love it. Sticks, absolutely love it. I love jump puzzles to begin with, whether they're in Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy XIV, or anything. I think Guild Wars 2 is on the higher end, the better end of doing jump puzzles because their controls lend themselves to them a little better than Final Fantasy XIV's. I will absolutely agree there. I did a video on my personal YouTube channel, not on Ready Check Radios. It was on my Magic Man channel, which still gets like Final Fantasy FFTCG content more than anything. Been a little bit of a lull there with the whole COVID, but there's going to be live games put back up there. So if you follow me, that channel is not dead. It's just going to be that stuff. I did a Kugane jump puzzle strategy guide video years ago. That still gets comments on it. Still. Oh my God, thank you so much. Because it taught you how to abuse the shit out of the hitboxes in the game. Because they weren't, it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't lend itself to platforming all that well. So
yeah, I just use ninja when I do it. Because you move faster and you jump higher.
Prism says leave it unless there are better prizes for them. Well, let us know what you think in the comments below. We'll be back next week on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern for one more show. Then remember, February 4th, we won't have a show because we'll be doing a special live reactions and pre-show on the 5th, Friday, instead, to the showcase, the Final Fantasy XIV Square Enix showcase. So hope you'll follow, hope you'll join us, hang out, make some crazy predictions with us, and then watch all the news roll in. Until next week, Kronos, where can everybody find you, my friend?
Yeah, same as always. Twitter down below. Tweet pretty much every day. So if you want to listen to me, just blabber on.
What about you, Tarkoth?
Find me at Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all at Tarkoth Gaming. And if I may be so bold, I am like a sliver away from affiliated. Would love to have anybody that's willing to watch some Final Fantasy XIV or Genshin Impact. Come on over. We'll have a good time. Help me get over that little hump to that thing on Twitch.
Chat, after you do that, hang tight here. After post-show, of course, we always go right into a stream. Faye will be streaming tonight, having some fun, hanging out with chat, just generally making a bunch of trouble. Faye, how are you?
Well, you know me, as troublemakers do.
You're like all blurry. What'd you do? It's like,
No.
slowly coming into focus.
Camera.
There you go. That was very
Camera.
dramatic.
You see, well, I mean,
That
with
is
with the dramatics of the makeup.
That is
we
a
had
swell
to this
stash.
evening,
What
we're
the
gonna
hell are
have
you
to-
doing?
Thank you.
Awesome. Love it.
Well, I promised chat last week that I would at least emulate to the best of my ability what my Outer Worlds character looks like, since you can't see me most of the time, and here we are. We are definitely gonna have to adjust the light because you cannot see my tired secretary bun up here, but. It was good before The stream.
You have a great stash.
you.
Like, it beats mine.
you.
It absolutely beats mine.
Well, I didn't get my art school degree for nothing.
Hell no, it cost you thousands of dollars.
And wonderful mustache abilities.
Exactly. So, chat, hang out just for a few minutes after post-show. As always, we'll go dark for 20 seconds while we reset and get the VODs to separate down below into a stream and a show. And then Faye will be back playing some Outer Worlds. Until next week, gang, I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there on Twitter at MagicMan1. But more importantly, follow at RC Radio, RAIDEO, so you know when we're going live, with what, and you can come hang out. Until next time, gang, it's been fun. Stay safe, and we'll see you out on those servers. Later.